Director. My name is Steve Vaccaro, and I'm the NYCC Programs Director. I am so happy to welcome you all here to learn about the SIG and the STS. We have a chock-full agenda, and I'm just going to go through a few preliminaries. Let me give you an overview. We're starting with a welcome and overview. We will be hearing from our club president, Leora Rosenberg, on some matters of grave importance coming up very shortly. And we will get underway with the main program by 6:40, which will center on 8 different presentations, 3 to 5 minutes each, by the coordinators of the SIG and STS programs. There are A, B, and C and D SIGs. SIG is short for Special Interest Group, as most of you know, as well as coordinators for STS programs. Spring Training Series is what STS stands for. And then we'll get down to it with breakout sessions. The B, SIG, and STS breakout sessions will be combined, but the rest of them will be separate. And it will be your opportunity to learn about the spring riding programs that we have to offer. But before we do get started, I do just quickly want to, since we have a number of newer people who are joining us, to just go and talk a little bit and give you an overview of the club. As most of you know, we're the oldest and largest New York City cycling club, and we are coming up on our 100-year anniversary. You definitely want to stick around for that. It's just going to be another 14 years. New York Cycle Club Board of Directors, if I can go and share my screen again. I just want to urge you to look at to look at our website. Oops, because that is going to stop share. That is going to unlock all of the resources and programming that New York Cycle Club has for you. So let's just start quickly with, this is your board of directors. It's under About. And you see that we have this wonderful group of leaders who help us put on our programming. We're more than happy to speak to you about anything that comes up. What other programs, SIG and STS, are described here? We have our ride program, which is, we have our monthly meeting, first Tuesday of the month. Our signature event is the hardest thing about this is switching back and forth. Okay, sorry. So we have the SIG and STS multi-week riding programs each spring, which you'll hear about. Special events are run by our special events coordinator, Denise. We have racing and development teams that ride weekly and year-round. We have weekend trips, multi-club rides, parties. We have day trips every day of the week. Check out the message board. Check out our ride library with cue sheets taking you all over the tri-state area and beyond. And join NYCC today for as little as $1. With inflation raging at 7%. It's the best value that you can find for $1. That was really all I wanted to cover, just to urge you to join the club and see the resources we have available. So I need to, everyone's suddenly emailing me. I need to now relinquish this to our club president, Leora.
Hi, everybody. My name is Leora, and I am your NYCC club president. I want to start by giving everybody a warm welcome. And I can tell you the SIG and the STS are my favorite part of the year. I am so excited that you all get to experience them for the first time. You're going to have a blast, highlight of the year, possibly highlight of your life. And to those of you who are new members, just the warmest welcome possible. In addition to welcoming you, I also want to talk with you about our COVID policy. Part of our job as a club board is to keep you all safe when you are on rides with us. And for that reason, COVID vaccines are going to be a requirement for this year's SIG. When you register for the SIG, we are going to ask you to affirm that you're fully vaccinated per the latest CDC guidelines. And when you join the SIG, you should expect to show us proof of vaccination at some point prior to the first ride. Your SIG leaders are going to be in touch and they'll let you know the logistics of how that's going to work for your program. I also want to let you know that your SIG leaders and your SIG captains cannot change the SIG vaccination policy, and they cannot give people exceptions for any reason. If you need to discuss some kind of special circumstance, your SIG leaders are not the people to do that with. The person you need to reach out to is me. You can always shoot me an email. My email is president@nycc.org, and you can find it on the website. And I will ask that if you need to talk about a special circumstance, you do that early. I can tell you that the night before the SIG or the morning of the SIG, I am not going to be available to chat. So with that said, I'm going to pass it back to Steve, who's going to take you back to learning about the SIG.
Okay, thanks for that, Leora. And we have a full house tonight. We're going to get right to it, and we're going to start with the SIG coordinator, who for as long as I can remember, was Michael Gately,
yes,
who's going to give you an idea of what it's about. You're on.
Thanks, Steve. I'm just getting texts from others who are in the waiting room. I think we're at capacity at 100. My name is Michael Gately. I'm speaking on behalf of ASIG co-captain Jeff Levine and the leader team, and we're very excited to restart the ASIG, which we suspended 2 weeks into the 2020 season. I want to commend 3 resources on the NYCC website: the ASIG description page, the frequently asked questions, and the comparison page. For now, I'll say a few words about what the ASIG is, second, how it differs from other SIGs, and third, how it differs from regular group rides. First, the ASIG is a 10-week training series that teaches group cycling skills for A-level riders. We teach a specific style of cooperative group cycling in a fast, tight, rotating pace line that emphasizes smoothness and safety, focusing on consistent effort rather than speed. You'll learn to ride confidently close to others, skills for climbing and descending, tips for endurance riding, all while getting into great shape. Our goal is to produce great wheels, cyclists who ride generously and predictably, making good decisions for others in the pace line, those with whom everyone enjoys riding because their presence in the group enhances safety, smoothness, and fun, making it a better ride for all. Second, the ASIG builds upon and prepares for the skills of group riding of other SIG programs. We build on the work of our friends in the CSIG and BSIG, of which many ASIG participants and leaders are graduates. 2 differences. First, we ride in a rotating pace line, a skill that we teach in the first week or 2. Second, each week you'll ride in a different group of leaders and participants. Everyone learns the same set of skills, learning to trust the wheel of the cyclist ahead of them, and to be trustworthy as a leader for everyone behind you in the pace line, even if only for the brief time that you're riding on the front. Many ASIG graduates go on to the A Classic or DSIG, or participate in the STS or lead other rides for the club. Third, the ASIG differs from regular group rides as a progressive instructional series. It's a progressive program in that each week builds upon the prior week. We start March 19th with a 50-miler, averaging maybe 16 or 17 miles an hour on the flats, especially as we introduce rotating pace lines. And after a few weeks, we may expect 18 to 20 miles an hour on the flats, depending on the group. We'll end with a 100-mile graduation ride May 21st. We require attendance at the first 2 rides and discourage absences, in part since rides get longer and more difficult each week. Expect all-day Saturday and rain dates on Sunday. Midweek training is necessary, whether laps in the park or River Road. We'll venture far from the usual routes to central New Jersey, Connecticut, Putnam County. I'm actually sitting in a very little-known branch of the NYCC Ride Library. After the first few rides, we'll use trains, riding from the city and returning by train, or vice versa, or we'll take trains in both directions. And as an instructional series, we ask that you be open to coaching from leaders and mentors throughout the program, especially if this is a style of group riding that differs from what you know. Finally, our aim as volunteers is to have a fun, great series of rides with cyclists whom we can teach and trust to be safe, smooth wheels, who ride generously for others, helping to make every ride better. Many of the cyclists you meet in the SIG programs will become friends you will want to ride with because you trust their wheels and they trust yours. We're happy to talk more in the breakout room and hope to see you on the road in the ASIG or in one of the club's other excellent programs. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks very much. I just want to say that I've become aware, we have lifted the 100-person limit on our Zoom account, it appears. So now we've been able to break past that barrier. And I believe that Felipe is going to be talking about the ASTS. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm here. So let me.
There you go.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, perfect. Can everybody see my screen?
I can't.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Today I'm gonna. My name is Felipe Diaz Grifero, and
I can't see your screen either.
I cannot see your screen.
you cannot see my screen. Okay, give me 1 second. There is an issue here. Okay, give me 1 second. This should be now.
There you go.
Yep. Now you should be able to see my screen. Okay, perfect. So hello, everyone. My name is Felipe Diaz Grifero, and today I'm going to talk to you about the A-Spring training series, the ASTS 2022. So what is the ASTS? The ASTS is a program that was created by cyclists that started 20 years ago, and the cyclists wanted to enjoy challenging weekly rides in the spring. And the ASTS consists on 12 rides, starting on Saturday, March 12th. And then we ride those 12 Saturdays consecutive. So the question is, where do we ride? So we ride upstate New York, we ride in Poughkeepsie, the Catskill, Woodstocks, Tarrytown, we ride in Connecticut, specifically around the area of Kent. We do the New Jersey Fondo, etc. These are the most scenic rides of the NYCC has to offer. Many of them were created by the late Terry Leaves, who was a very strong rider and also very creative because he created most of these rides. Particularly, the last 6 train rides are a reward for those who decide to complete the program. The question is, are the rides challenging? The answer is yes. Let me see, why I cannot see my mouse here. So give me 1 second, I'm having some issues here. Why I can go back? I cannot go back. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yes, the answer is yes. As you can see here, the rides start at 54 miles on the first week, and we increase the mileage slowly until 105 miles. And then also the climbing goes from 2,800 feet to almost 8,000 feet. But you shouldn't worry about this because we have different groups and speeds for you to join the best speed that fits, that is best for you. Now, the other thing is that how can you join these rides? Joining these rides is very easy. You just sign up on the NYCC website. All the STS rides will be posted on the website, and you can sign up 10 days before the Saturday that the ride takes place. Can you miss a ride? Absolutely. In the STS, nothing is mandatory. We're free. But remember that the difficulty of the program is progressive. So the following week, you will feel it in your legs if you have missed 1 or 2 rides. The idea is to try to do all the rides. Of course, life happens. If you cannot come, it's fine, but you will feel it because the rides become more challenging as the series progress. Are there any requirements for the ASTS? No, we encourage AC graduates and A Classic graduates to join the ASTS. However, you just need to be a safe rider be friendly and fun. And also do not forget to train during the week, because this training is something that you will need to complete the program. Finally, that the STS have fun, absolutely. All our rides finish with a social. In these socials, we usually have fun, and we have good food and beverage. I just want to remind everybody that HAPS is a great anti-inflammatory. This is published. There's scientific literature that suggests that. So we usually have a very good social interaction at the end of every ride, even though we are all very tired. So finally, I just want to say what most of the leaders of the STS say is that all you got is not something you give until the very end of the ride. And I'm open for questions on the breakout room. If you need more information about the STS, you can go to the website, and then NYCC, there is a website for the STS. There is more information about the program. Also, you can email me, and also I'll be on the breakout room for anyone else who wants to know more about the ASTS. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You've got perfect timing, Felipe.
Even though I have some technical difficulties here. Let me stop sharing.
You'll give the screen back so that I can introduce Fred Leffel. Fred Leffel has been coordinating our BSIG program. I don't know, it's neck and neck between Fred and Michael, how long they've been in their respective positions, but with experience comes consistency and quality of instruction and experience. So I'll let Fred explain that to you more. You are on mute.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Hi, I'm Fred Leffel. I'm the coordinator of the BSIG. We also have waiting in the wings, the captains, the three captains, Ron Wexler, Jorge Negrin, and Colin Tabor, who'll be around for the answer a lot of questions in the breakout session. So just about everything we're going to discuss here in the breakout session is already on the website. As Michael said, for the ASIG, go to the BSIG website and you'll see FAQs. You'll also see a very good description of the program. And we also have the BSIG Rider's Guide posted, which also has a lot of information about how the program is run. So as most of you know, I'm sure that all of you know, that the BSIG is a 10-week program in group riding skills and riding techniques. The first week is an orientation session with also our timed laps or qualification laps. Jorge is available later on to tell you how that's organized. And then we will have the next 9 weeks or a series of rides. Each ride starts out with a specific lesson, and the rides get progressively longer and harder. They start out about 40 some odd miles. The next to last ride is our 100-mile ride, our century ride, and then the beautiful graduation ride up to Bear Mountain, ending in Cold Spring. As I said, it's a progressive program. The rides and the lessons are cumulative, and our goal is to create safe, competent, and confident cyclists. You'll note that I didn't mention speed. You'll probably get a little faster as you go through the program, but that's not really our goal. A couple of questions, let me anticipate a couple of questions that come up. First question that people always ask is, well, I don't know whether to register for the 15, 16, or 17. The BSIG is split into 3 different speed categories, 15, 16, and 16, 17, and 18, excuse me. The answer to that question is no, you don't. All you do is sign up for the BSIG. We will take care of assigning you to a team with other participants of similar abilities and similar speed. Another question that comes up is, how do I know whether to do the A-SIG, the B-SIG, or the C-SIG? Michael alluded to that a little bit. There's a comparison of the SIGs posted on the BSIG website, as well as the A's and I think the C's. You read through that. What I tell people is, if you've been on a New York Cycle Club B ride and you feel comfortable and even a little challenged, the B-SIG is the right program for you. If the B ride that you were on was way too hard for you or way too fast for you, obviously you would choose the C, and similarly you would choose the A if you thought you were a lot faster. Can you go from one to the other if you find out that it's not the right SIG for you? Well, that's a little bit complicated because the C SIG, I think this year is the same thing. They're going to start a little bit later, so it may be a little late for you to try and transfer into the B SIG if you start in the C. Usually in the A SIG, you start about the same time and maybe even a week earlier. So I think your first ride is earlier than our ride. So sometimes there are people who from the A SIG who wind up in the B SIG because they sought them out in the first week. And there's usually room for you. But you can also ask friends who ride in the club what they think your appropriate SIG level would be, but don't sweat it out. We'll get it sorted out for you. As I said, our goal is to create safe, competent, and confident cyclists. One thing about the SIG, and I think this probably applies to all of them, it's a 10-week program and you have a commitment. If you sign up for the B SIG, we expect a commitment from you to participate all 10 weeks. We allow 2 absences. If you've been absent, if you miss more than 2 rides, you'll probably be asked to leave the SIG. But commitment also means a commitment to your fellow SIGgies. So you want to come, we expect you to come to the ride each week with your bike in good working condition, well prepared, well nourished, dressed appropriately, and to be on time, and to have read the lesson for that week. Again, there's a lesson for each week. And also bring a friendly, good, cooperative attitude because, you know, rides take longer. Oh, that's another question people ask. When do we get back? And you know, there's no rule about when we get back. But as a general guideline, the early weeks of the B SIG, you probably won't be back into Manhattan before 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock, and much later than that as the weeks go by. And who knows what happens on the road? There are mechanicals. That somebody may have some health issues, so you never know how late you're going to get back. What we say to people, and I think that they use this expression in the C SIG, is we own your Saturdays. Okay, don't make plans, early evening plans on SIG ride days. If the weather is bad on a Saturday when the ride is scheduled, we will reschedule it to the following day. Last thing about COVID, Leora spoke to this. You should all be familiar with the COVID protocols for the club. For the B SIG, what I can say is 3 things. Number 1, you must be vaccinated. Number 2, you should be comfortable using public transportation. Most people will have to use, at least at some points during the SIG, you'll need public transportation to get to a starting point or an end point of a ride. The subways usually. All of the rides, the starting points are accessible to ride there, but you know, you may live somewhere where it's impractical for you to ride to the start. So you should be comfortable using public transportation. Also, some of the rides do use Metro North, so you need to be comfortable riding using public transportation. Last thing is for lunches, you should be comfortable eating indoors. All the places we've scheduled to eat at do have provisions for eating outdoors, but as a practical matter, it's often cold. So you may be freezing if you intend to eat outside. So you should be comfortable eating inside. There's lots more we can go into. Again, a lot of it's on the website, and we'll be around to answer your questions in the breakout session.
Thanks so much, Fred. And I have to confess, you have a very robust group of coordinators and leaders with the B program. And I wasn't sure, was it Colin who was going to do a quick talk about the STS? Okay, great. Colin is also one of my fellow board members. He is the B-Ride coordinator. If you want to list a B-Ride, he's going to review it and approve it and support it in a variety of ways. He's here tonight to tell you about the B-STS program. Go for it, Colin.
Sure. Thank you very much, Steve. Hi, everybody. And this part of the program, we'll talk about the STS. The STS stands for Spring Training Series. This is kind of a parallel to the SIG, but for experienced riders who already know how to ride in a group. The STS is not an instructional series, so there's no lessons. There's a little less forgiveness in terms of kind of you knowing what you're doing, right? So if you have any questions about whether you should be trying to do the STS, you can feel free to drop me an email. I'm at b-sig, b-rides, right? So many emails, right? b-rides at nycc.org. You can also find that email address through the board listings on the website that were shown earlier. So the way the STS will run, it will be 8 rides. It will run roughly from, I think, either, and we're still finalizing the details. It will run from somewhere near start in either mid-March or the beginning of April. The rides in the STS, the BSTS, are clearly labeled and listed amongst the regular club rides on the website, right? So you can sign up for an STS ride any week you want while they're running. Teams are not assigned, right? So it is a progressive series, not unlike the SIG. Each week we get into more distance, more challenging rides. There may again be public transportation involved with it. That is again going to be up to everyone's discretion to decide. Since no teams are assigned, there's no kind of number of weeks that you have to make at all. Some people will do 1 ride, some people will do all 8, or anything in between based on your schedule and your interest, right? There are a variety of speeds. Typically it's B16, 17, and 18. There may be 15 available as well. It does depend on the interest that we have in folks leading STS rides. Experienced riders experienced leaders are welcome to lead. This year's STS will be organized by Chris Hartman. Many of you know Chris, but if you want to get involved, you can email me again or Chris directly if you happen to have his email. I know he is looking for leaders, and it'll be great if anyone can help out. The other thing I'll just mention is just make sure your bike's in working order. Again, this is one where there's not as much hand holding, so it's up to you to make sure that your bike is ready and everything is good. It's a lot of fun. It does share a lot of the characteristics of the SIG. It gives you a chance to build up from your sort of couch potato winter state into a sleek riding machine like you want to be for the summer. And that's it.
Thanks so much, Colin. It was just brought to my attention that I have not really hosted this before, in that we have officers handle this who get elected in and out, and we've had COVID. So I actually overlooked Alex Claffine. Alex is actually going to be coordinating the A Classic SIG, which was my introduction to the club. I wasn't even able to finish the program, but I still use virtually every time I go out riding the things that I learned back in 2012 in the A Classic SIG. And I'm going to invite Alex to say a few words about the program. And my apologies for not for the afterthought dimension of your introduction.
All right, cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Alex. I caught most of that, Steve. Yep, I am one of the captains for the A Classic this year. We are, to quickly cover it, we are doing a bit of a truncated season, only 10 days, 10 weeks, starting March 19th through March 21st. We'll have orientation the week of via Zoom. Just like all the other programs, if the weather's uncooperative, we reschedule to Sunday. We do the Saturday rides are our kind of marquee event for the week. And we do expect you to come to every single ride. So it is a big commitment. Obviously, if you need to miss 1 or 2, that's understandable. But ideally, you work with us, you're able to ride with us every single Saturday. Midweek training is also going to be a kind of a key thing. So you'll want to make sure that you are available on Tuesdays or Thursdays, maybe both, to get your midweek training in. And to kind of go over real quickly, just in case it wasn't covered or it hasn't been covered yet. A lot of folks ask us, what is the difference between the A and the Classic? And I would say that the biggest difference is that the A does a really, really great job at establishing the foundations of riding at the highest level of road riding, I would say. And what the A Classic does is it takes a lot of those kind of that same foundations, make sure that we still teach you to them, but at a slightly accelerated pace, and use the back end of our program to really teach you how to optimize the way that you ride with a group so that you create a better ride experience for everyone. And it's really a way of approaching riding what we say that you ride the classic way. And it's a way to basically work with the other folks in your group to establish and work and build up each other's strengths throughout the group so that everyone has a better ride overall, rather than just, the one or two folks who might be feeling good that day. So like I said, we cover fundamental group riding skills, pace lining. We do a little bit of gravel and dirt, not as much as the D-SIG, not nearly as much as the D-SIG, but you will be expected to encounter some gravel rides or some gravel sections. Everything very doable on a road bike. I've done it on 23s, it's fine. But that'll be in there. We'll do some technical skills such as bike handling, cornering, climbing, descending. And then, like I said, how to really leverage and balance your group strengths to create a more cohesive and fun ride. So that's, like I said, it's a 10-week program. You are going to want a road bike, clipless pedals. We, like all the other SIGs, vaccinated required. We will be taking trains as well. And yeah, that's all I got. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alex. And I should mention that you are also the gifted designer who's given us our new logo and kit design that you can see if you just go to the website. It's all over the place, and we're all very excited to start plastering it all over our bodies. I know I am. I'm going to go to Brian Sullivan, who's going to be coordinating the D-SIG program. And then we'll be going to the RSTS, finishing up with the C-SIG and STS. Brian, are you with us?
Yep, I'm here. You got me there? We good?
We're all good, yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I'll be quick. So so I'm Brian Sullivan. I'm the co-captain of the D-SIG along with John Siemens, who is also here on the call. And he'll be in areas, he'll be in the breakout room later on. So the D-SIG is NYCC's program for teaching safe group riding techniques on dirt roads and trails. And the context for the D-SIG is that we're building on the road skills that are taught in the A-SIG and the A Classic. So that's really, it's not just like, hey, I rode a BMX bike when I was a kid and now I want to do the D-SIG. It's like, no, it's more like you need to sort of have this baseline road skills in order to need to come into this program. We really rely on that for from a safety perspective. So everybody in the D-SIG, we're doing these rides on drop bar bikes, cyclocross bikes, gravel bikes, adventure bikes. There are a million names for these bikes now. But basically it's if you could have a road bike that you can fit like 32C tires on, like that will be appropriate, but it's got to be a drop bar bike, not a mountain bike or a hybrid like flat bar bike. So as I'm sure everybody knows, in the last few years, we've seen this absolute explosion of gravel grinder events and kind of the popularity of things like bike packing and all kinds of dirt riding that's really come on the scene in a, kind of in the bike industry. It's become a very popular thing. And I'm happy to say here in NYCC, we're in before that whole kind of marketing thing or whatever. We've been doing this for a long time. And if you're interested in that and you want to have, get the skills to be able to do that safely, like we're the program for you. But the sort of the caveat is that you need to come into it with some of the road skills that you're going to get from like the SIG or the A Classic, or you can get those skills other places, but that's kind of the prerequisite. So I'm going to attempt to just have a little break to show some nice pictures, because we ride very scenic places. This is one of the nice advantages of what we can do. And if I can work this correctly, we'll get some nice pictures here, just for a couple of minutes. I won't talk too much, but these are all shots from the DSIG in 2019, the last year that we did it.
I like the turtle.
Yeah, the turtle is clutch. So this is, you can kind of see. So one of the things that we're really teaching in the D with dirt riding is you have to be prepared for all kinds of conditions. You don't know what to expect. Like you may get to a dirt road and like it's good, and somebody scouted it the week before, and you get there the next time and like it's flooded and there's a turtle, or it's washed out and there's ruts, and like you have to adapt. And so this is that kind of being ready for anything, sharing the road, if it's with horses or cars or, dudes on quads, whatever it is, just having that kind of mindset of being adaptable and figuring it out and not knowing quite what you're going to get into, but still committing that you're going to figure it out and help your fellow riders get through it. Like that's kind of the mindset that we're teaching. And you definitely get that, I think, in the ASIG and the A Classic. In those programs, there's a group mindset that's taught where you're like, hey, we're going to make it work for the group that we're riding with. And we definitely have some of that. But with the DSIG, you get into this some sort of, there's a degree of unpredictability of what kind of road conditions you're going to get. And sometimes you get the ice cream cone, and sometimes, you get, you're eating dirt or whatever, it's not always, you have to be ready for any of those things. Anyway, so that's it. So that's where dirt happens.
Thanks so much, Brian. That was great. I love those pictures. I want to do the DSIG.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, we're not quite done with these overviews. We are going to go to these breakout rooms very shortly, but I do want to let everyone know the answer to the question that I know is burning for many of you, and I've deliberately withheld it till now. You will be able to register for the SIG of your choice starting tomorrow morning. And there is not necessarily an unlimited amount of space in all of these SIG programs. So you should pay close attention to what you see here. You should think long and hard about it, but not too long, just tonight. And then you should make your move tomorrow morning. What time, Sheila? What time tomorrow morning? You just told me, since you're in charge of the website. Is it one of these 8 a.m. things, 10 a.m.? I'm sure either.
It'll be between 8 and 9.
Okay, there you go. All right, people will be waiting nearby. So we're going to finish up with Neil Weissman speaking about the RSTS program for the spring. And then Ness is going to discuss the C programs, both the SIG and the STS, and we'll be going to the breakout rooms. So Neil, are you there?
I am here. Can you let me share screen?
Neil Weissman.
You
Yep,
should be able to
there you
now.
go. Got it. All right. It's not a lot, but it's there. Okay. So the RSTS is a 13 ride series. It's for experienced B riders, and this is our 7th year. The R stands for randonneur, which is a French for cycling around and getting lost. And the most famous randonneur event is the 750-mile, 90-hour Paris-Brest-Paris, which emphasizes preparation, efficiency, resilience, and sleep deprivation. We're not going to be anywhere near this hardcore. What we are going to do is we're going to ride Saturday starting at March 5th and with a 65-mile ride out to Patchogue and Ronkonkoma. And then we're going to finish on May 28th with a 200 Ronkonkoma 200K route. Sunday is our rain date. Like the other SIGs and STSs, we're going to make very good use of Metro North, Long Island Railroad, New Jersey Transit. So you want to be comfortable riding a train. You know, and we're going to go out, or Dutchess, Orange, Litchfield, Hunterton. We're going to go out of our way to go out of our way, is how we want to put it. The food stops will include Mediterranean, very eclectic. We want to eat well. Valor do Hires, all cyclists must serve. Valor Egrita, all cyclists must eat. That's from the High Valerian. So we're gonna, we will feature outdoor dining. We're gonna make sure that, we have some sort of outdoor dining out. So if you don't want to go indoors, you won't have to. But all participants will need to show proof of vaccination. We're agnostic about, road, bikes, touring, hybrid, recumbent. If you can keep up, great. No aero bars. We do recommend 25 wider tires. We're not going to do much dirt. It won't be a problem if you don't have a dirt bike. We are intending the series for SIG graduates and comparably experienced cyclists. All participants are expected to lead 2 rides. So, use that in your calculation. We have a lot of repeat riders, and we're limiting the subscription to 10 newbies this year. But we'll have open spots and regular listings, and we're going to have 2 groups, 16 and 18. We're going to ride as low as 20 degrees. Think of us like iguanas in a cold snap. We may freeze and fall down, but we're not dead. Okay. And our drop we do not have a drop policy. We try to help each other out, but if you should be prepared, if you can't keep up to navigate on your own and fix your own flat. And we don't have a formal absence policy, but we expect you to make a good faith effort to do the series and maintain conditioning. It is a progressive series. And this is the graduation ride, which is the 127-mile loop out of Ronkonkoma. That's on May 28th. That's it, Steve. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Neil. We're going to wrap up this portion of tonight's presentation with Ness Rami talking about all of the different offerings we have as far as C rides, C training, and C group riding experiences go. Ness, are you with us?
Yes, Steve, thank you. Actually, I did not prepare anything for the STS, so maybe what I'll do is go a little quicker. I think we have some of the leaders of the STS on. Maybe they can fill in about their programs, if that works for you, Steve.
Sure.
I'm going to share. Can you allow me to share?
You're a co-host. Go.
Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Ness Rami. I'm going to talk to you about the return of the CSIG after 2 pandemic-induced years of absence, which we're all happy to see end, or at least diminish. So our program has started about 25 years ago. Well over 1,000 cyclists have come through. It's intended for new riders to learn how to ride safely and predictably in a group setting. We give gentle instruction in a friendly environment, and we teach all the basic skills, including how to be comfortable on the bike and how to be safe on the bike. The program is known as kind of the entry point in the club for much more. Many of the graduates, most of the graduates go on to enjoy group rides with the club. Many become ride leaders. Many go on to the B-SIG and even the A-SIG, and some even become SIG leaders themselves. We welcome riders from different experience levels. You can be new, you know how to ride your bike, but you want to learn about group riding. Maybe you rode years ago, you're coming back, or you've ridden 10 miles or through the pandemic on your own and you want to go longer and be in a group. All of those types of riders are welcome in our program. Our secret sauce is our leaders. We have north of 15 dedicated leaders, most of whom are CSIG graduates who are passionate about cycling, are very experienced in group riding, and love to share their knowledge with our riders. What we expect of you, if you're thinking about joining the CSIG, believe it or not, we have to say this, you have to know how to ride your bike in a straight line, use your brakes, and use your gears. That's not something we teach. As Colin said, for the B level, we also require that your bike be in good condition before the first ride. Now is a good time to get it over to your bike shop, get it tuned, and replace any broken parts, etc. And bring your interest in learning how to ride in a group, and we'll take care of the rest. You do need to make a commitment. As with the other SIGs, our length is 8 weeks plus a classification ride, and we limit you to 2 absences in order to complete the program. And as with the other programs, you must be up to date on your vaccines. And for us, if you're eligible, we also are going to ask that everyone have a booster if you're eligible. Now, in return for meeting those requirements, you will become a better, safer, stronger rider, gaining strength, fitness, and endurance. You will make new friends to ride with for years to come. And we also cover topics about the accessories on your bike, your shoes, your helmet, what to wear in all kinds of weather, how to do maintenance on your bike, basic maintenance on your own bike, how to change a flat, and on and on and on. And we go to great routes with limited traffic and great places to eat. Here are the specifics to keep in mind. Like the other SIGs, we require registration starting tomorrow morning. Our first event is the classification ride on March 19th in Prospect Park. It's 5 laps around Prospect Park at your own pace, which will allow us to classify you into one of 4 groups. From there, and if there's a weather problem, we will ride Sunday or the following weekend. From there, we move on to our 8 progressive weekly ride series, starting on April 2nd, ending on May 21st. Those are all-day rides, as was mentioned previously, and they progress in terms of distance, speed, elevation gain, and so on. We are also planning to limit the indoor stops to bathrooms and food pickups and so on. And we finish on May 21st with a ride up to Nyack of approximately 60 miles, depending on which group you're in. This is a map view of our routes. About 3/4 of the routes go over the George Washington Bridge into Bergen. Some of the later weeks will go up into Rockland County. About 2 of the 8 rides will go north, either through the Bronx, or will meet in a northern neighborhood of the Bronx and go up into Westchester. Most of the rides start on the Upper West Side and in the area of Dinosaur Playground at 90th Street and West End Avenue and Riverside Drive. So that's the summary. If the idea of a boot camp for cyclists seems right to you, we welcome you. There's much more information on the FAQs on the website, or join us in the breakout room. And after tonight, if you have questions or comments, this easy to remember email address, we're there to answer, csig@nycc.org. Steve?
Okay, thanks, Ness. If you could give me back the screen. I am going to add a brief session to wrap up with Jim Zisfine, longtime club member who leads.
Yes.
What leads many sea rides for the club. I'm just going to ask if anyone, if you're not speaking to the group, if you could mute yourself, that would be great. And Jim's going to talk about our Sea Rides program, CSTS program for the spring. And then we'll be going to the breakout sessions. We'll pivot to that. So let's hear it, Jim.
Okay, thanks, y'all. Can you hear me now? Thanks very much, Steve. I'm one of the ride leaders on this year's CSTS. I'll be leading 8 CSTS rides starting on March 13th. My colleague Jerry Ross will also be leading those rides. His are on Saturdays, mine are on Sundays. You've already heard most of the stuff about STS, so I'll be brief. They start out easy and become more challenging. And that way STS is like SIG, but there are important differences. SIG, as you've heard, is designed to teach group riding skills. STS is for those of us who are already skilled in group riding or think we are. In STS, our goal is to get back into shape after a winter that has not been conducive to cycling. With STS, you do not sign up in advance for the whole series. They're individually posted on the club calendar. You pick and choose which ones you do. To get the full benefit, you should do several rides, but there's no minimum requirement. And when Jerry and I have scheduled 2 rides on the same weekend, his Saturday, mine Sunday, we do request that you do not participate in both of them so as to give most people a chance to ride. How do I share my screen? Is it this button here?
The green share screen button at the bottom.
It says host disabled participant screen sharing. It's not important. Unless the pandemic disappears, our lunches will be outdoors. So be sure to dress for the weather. It's best if you bring your own lunch, but there will be places to buy food. Take a look at the rides calendar, which I attempted to share, but you can get there yourself. Some of the CSTS rides are already posted. The rest will be posted soon. And as already been mentioned, registration will open 10 days in advance of each ride. And see you there.
Thanks so much, Jim. So I'm just going to do a super quick recap. I know we had a technical problem that limited some people from joining us initially. I started just with an overview. We're going to go to breakout sessions, which is where I know there's a lot of questions. A lot of them have been posed in the chat. I would urge you actually to go to the breakout rooms, which you can access by clicking on the breakout room icon that's at the bottom of your screen. If you're not that familiar with Zoom, take your cursor, bring it down towards the bottom of your screen, and you'll see a bunch of options on the far right. Or second from the far right are the breakout rooms. And the breakout rooms are already in progress, and you can join them yourself. If you're on an iPad, I can't help you. I've never had one before, but Sheila can. Sheila O'Connor, who you can reach as a participant and communicate with directly, is like the wizard behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. None of us would have been able to step up and give our presentations as smoothly as it went, and it certainly wasn't perfectly smooth. But Sheila is the one with the technical know-how who can help us get through all of this. So for those of you who are familiar with breakout rooms, go to the breakout room for the program that you're most interested in. Bear in mind that you can easily reach the A rides coordinator, B rides coordinator, or C rides coordinator directly through the listing on the website where you're at NYCC. It says about board of directors, and you'll see there are people there, and they can play a coordinating role in getting any inquiries you have that aren't answered either through this presentation we just had or through the breakout room process we're about to undertake. They can route you to the person who can answer your questions. But the one thing I do want to emphasize is that this is an all-volunteer riding program that is known nationally for its excellence. It's competitive, and you know, you should really sign up and give it a try. I'm looking forward to seeing you out on the road, and I'm now going to just, ask people to go to the respective breakout rooms for the program that they are most interested in. So I see that everyone's name is up here. And you find your name, and then I think you just click on it and you join. Am I giving people proper instructions, Sheila?
Yes, that's correct. And if anyone is not sure about doing that, I can actually help move you into the room of your choice. It looks like at this point we have 58 people that have still not moved into a breakout room. And if you are, if you're one of the captains who spoke today, you want to definitely make a point to get into your appropriate breakout room so that you can be there to answer the questions.
Sheila, Neil here. I'm still with the main group. How do I get into the breakout for the RSDS?
I will move you.
And others can try.
Hi, this is Congressman Tom Suozzi. I'm sorry. Can you please, instead of moving him, can you explain how to join so others can do that as well?
Yeah, just what you want to do is just go to more on the bottom of your screen and select breakout, and then just you just pick the breakout that you want to go to, with your name, and select it.
I don't see a more.
All right,
Can
I can.
Cursor down to the bottom of your screen.
I don't have a more either.
Yeah.
Okay, Fred, I'm going to move you to your breakout since I know
Thank
which
you.
one it is. Anyone need help? I'm happy to move you into the room you want to be in.
Yes, please.
And your name?
Lisa Ehrlich.
Okay, I see. What
BSIG, please.
the BSIG?
D, C like Charles.
I'll see. Okay, 1 second.
Sheila Chow.
Yes.
BSTS.
Okay.
Liam Dalzell to ASIG.
Liam ASIG?
Yes, please.
Mark
Shirley, could you move me to the BSIG, please?
I'm sorry, what was the name?
Shirley?
Shirley?
Yep.
I see you. Okay.
Thanks.
Fred Wasserman, BSIG, please.
Mark Block into the BSIG, please.
Hi, Hedrick C to BSIG, please.
Did you get Mark Block into the BSIG?
I did, and then
I haven't seen it yet. Okay, thanks.
I don't see you.
There.
Yeah, I moved you, but then I see you're still here.
It doesn't like me.
Oh, look, it's okay. I found you. I'm gonna. It says not joined. The reason why is when yeah, there's something you have to click on your screen to say join when I move you in.
I'll find it.
It doesn't look like I can move you back to the main room. All right, anyone else need assistance?
Annette Bauer, BSIG.
Okay,
Thank you.
Griselda Sanchez, looks like you have your hand up. Which one do you want? I can't hear you. You have to unmute.
B6.
Okay.
Could you
move Jesse to B6 as well?
Looks like Paul Hoffer, you have your hand up. And what are you looking for? I can't hear you. CSIG? Got it. Or CSIG or CSTS? Thank you. No? Okay.
Oh, hi, Shannon, Red. I have questions about the DSIG, but I'll probably end up in BSTS.
Okay, so which one do you want to start
Can you
with?
put me in the D? I have some questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so once I click to send you into a room, you do have to accept that on your screen, or you kind of get stuck in no man's land. So let's try. All right, is anyone else looking to get into a breakout room? Okay, Paul, I see you have your hand up. I can't hear you though, you're on mute. It says what I'm seeing is not joined. Because you have to accept the invitation. Yeah, I can't hear you.
Sheila, I'm still here.
What's that?
I'm still here. I'm not in my with the
Yeah, because you
DSIG.
have to accept the invitation from your computer. So once I send you into the room, if you don't accept, you kind of get stuck in no man's land. So let me see if all right. Yeah, Paul, I do have you as, I did move you to the CSIG. I did, but you have to accept in order to get into the room. So let me see if I can. Yeah, I don't see an option. All right, let me. Now what I can do is, the one option I can do from here is I can move you to the waiting room, then bring you back into the meeting, then move you into the CSIG. So I'm going to do that. Still showing me as not joined. All right, Griselda, I see the same issue with you. I've moved you into the room you asked for, but I'm seeing that you haven't moved. I can try and move you to the waiting room back into the meeting and see if this will work again. But you do have to be able to accept the invitation from your screen. So. All right, anyone else need assistance?
I want to go to the B SIG, please.
And okay, I see. All right, is there anyone else that needs assistance?